What's going on, guys? Hey, it's Steve Oatley with Freight Broker Live. Today is February 15th. It is roughly 12 o'clock Eastern time. I've just broke another big story. Actually, it's one that we started working on yesterday here at Freight Broker Live, and I wanted to just take a minute and talk about it. So I wrote about, and I'm titling it the Amazon Contractor Purge. And the reason why I'm writing that is because Amazon is slowly purging out all of their outsourced contractors that are handling their delivery, their package delivery systems, or even in air freight in the case of Pinnacle Logistics. And they're insourcing it. So they're using their franchise programs, or they're using their own actual employee hubs or something, and replacing all these contractors that they push to do these massive hires and expand all these, expand their fleets to be able to handle all this. So as I wrote about, so I want to say a couple of things. One, Amazon is not laying off any employees as of right now. These are the contractors that were under these contracts with Amazon. So apparently Amazon is just not renewing contracts for, I have at least 7 different companies from November of last year to currently, starting with the most recent RCX Logistics has laid off 500 people in Texas, 70 people in Florida, 66 people in Alabama. They will all be laid off in March, or I believe either March or April. I don't remember. There's just too many to do. Bear Down Logistics has laid off 105 people in Ohio, plus additional people in Florida and Georgia. Express Parcel Services laid off 267 people in Florida, 74 in Georgia. Delivery Force has laid off 272 people in Washington, 24 people in Kentucky. Express Pack Systems laid off 51 people in North Carolina. Greenwich Logistics out of California has laid off 408 people. In Pennsylvania, they laid off an additional 91 people. And this is all in addition to Pinnacle Logistics, who you guys know Amazon is insourcing all of their, they handle the Amazon package freight at the Baltimore airport and Chicago airport. In Illinois, they're laying off 1,374 people. And in Maryland, they're laying off 1,609 people. And this is all in addition to the 2,000 plus people that Amazon ended last year with, I believe it was Impacts, Letter Ride, and Shared Loman Transport, towards the end of last year, which are all coming into fruition. These drivers and workers and employees are all being laid off right now until the end of May. It's a very big story because we don't hear that much about, when you hear, everyone's been reporting it as small individual layoffs. So California, 400 drivers, big deal that they're getting laid off. But they're not reporting, no one's reporting it as a whole. Look at the total amount of Amazon contractors who are having their contracts pulled. It's crazy. And Amazon is releasing a generic statement. They released it to a lot of the same news media, or they're just copying it off each other. Who knows? But saying that it's all performance based and they're just making contract decisions to fix it, except there's never been any public acknowledgement of who is getting the contract. Because from what it seems to us, or what it seems to me, and this is opinion, but what it seems to me is that Amazon is building out these contractor relationships with third-party contracting companies, figuring out, using all the data and analytics that they're finding to find out if it's more profitable for them to put in these franchise programs that they have, where you have $10,000, you can start your own mini fleet of Amazon branded vans and just build up a fleet of 40 or 50 people. That's how it is down here in Florida. It's all Amazon trucks that are doing the deliveries here. It's not third-party companies. It's all Amazon directly branded vehicles and Amazon, contractors, but they're the franchisees within Amazon. So it looks to me like Amazon is strategically saying, okay, we're going to replace this area. We're going to replace, Dallas and Houston with our Amazon vans because we can actually make more of a profit because we could pay less than what we're paying the contractors who have all the responsibilities of paying employee taxes and all this stuff. It's just crazy. If you look at Celadon, and Celadon, was a big trucking company, ended up filing bankruptcy, closed down, 3,600 drivers all just laid off, suddenly with no notice. They didn't follow the WARN Act. There was no notice to these drivers. They ran out of money and closed after filing an emergency bankruptcy. This doubles it. This doubles the amount of layoffs. This is in total from November until, May right now. We're talking over 7,000 people are losing their jobs. Except it's, for some reason, it's just not a big deal. No one reports. You only report on it, and you only see it in small increments. Yesterday, I reported, I think I was the first industry, freight industry company to report about 1,000 people being laid off from RCX, Bear Down, and Express Parcel Services, laying off over 1,000 people combined with those three companies. This morning, I decided to look into it, and I looked at every single state that I could find, looked up all their WARN notices to see who was being laid off, what companies were being laid off. And there was, many more. Delivery Force, Express Pack Services, Greenwich Logistics, which we wrote about earlier, or I believe it was last week, about them losing their contracts. And of course, Pinnacle. Pinnacle is a huge one because they're laying off nearly 4,000 people themselves, or nearly 3,000 people themselves, because Amazon is shifting those job functions to internal Amazon employees. And granted, they've said they're going to try to hire a lot of these Pinnacle people, but it's just crazy. I don't know why it's not bigger news. I don't know why the government isn't saying, hey, look at what Amazon's doing. And we still do not know what they're doing with all the Amazon branded day cabs that are strategically being placed around the United States, except there's no mention of them. So are they going to now take over their own line hauls and all that stuff? What happens to all the contractors and the trucking companies that started up and are just doing the power only relay moves for Amazon? What happens to those companies when they decide to close? Here's another interesting fact. The WARN Act, which is the workers, I forgot what it's called. The Workers Adjustment and Retraining Notices, requires companies that are planning on closing or laying off more than 50 employees to file notice. If the plant is closing, I think it's a 30-day notice. If there's just pending layoffs because of restructuring or whatever the case may be, I believe that's 60-day notice. The issue with that is any fleet or any small company that's laying off less than 50 people, they're not required to report. So we're only hearing about these big companies that are losing the contracts, and we've been hearing about them for months and months now, right? So what is it going on with all the smaller guys, the guys that have 30 trucks, that have 30 employees, but they're losing it, and it's being blamed on safety, or it's being blamed on performance, or it's being blamed with whatever generic response that's going out? It's very perplexing. I think it makes you want to look into what the hell is going on. I mean, if you ask me, I have no idea what's going on. I don't understand the layoffs. I understand that they're using it essentially, as one of my viewers said, they're using it to beta test which locations are profitable for them to put in their own equipment. And they've been doing it for a long time. It's been going on ever since they started using contractors and dumped FedEx and dumped UPS and dumped the Postal Service. Now they're seeing that, okay, we can do this. I guarantee you, I'm willing to put a $100 bet with anyone who wants that within 2 or 3 years, Amazon is going to be the next FedEx. They will be handling package delivery. They're already beta testing that now for businesses, handling package delivery. They have the resources, they have the ability, but it comes at what cost? You have 7,000 plus employees right now that are going to be laid off in the next coming months. And they're going to need to find new jobs, or some will not be able to find new jobs. They're package delivery drivers. It's just sad. It's sad. It bugs me that we don't see the kind of reporting that we need to on these kind of things. A trucking company goes under. Oh my God, the world is over. And everybody, a 300 truck fleet, or this week we reported on one that had 135 drivers that were going to be laid off in 60 days. We have 7,000 plus people that are losing their jobs. And it doesn't make big news because no one wants to take on Amazon. Well, I do. Well, not really, but I'm a fair and honest guy, and I'm going to report on the truth every single day. My name is Steve. This is Freight Broker Live. Make sure you visit freightbrokerlive.com for all things freight breaking news. I'm the only unfiltered, uncensored news media outlet, I guess, where we're going to tell it like it is, and we're going to be honest, and we're going to be truthful. Make sure you check us out.